Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's the second stream of the night, and we have another coaching session coming tonight. And today, you want to introduce yourself first?
What's up, guys? I'm Will, aka Seppuku.
Mm-hmm. Welcome, welcome. And so like, let me see. You want to introduce a little bit more about yourself? Like, how long have you been playing? Like
So,
what deck?
yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, I've been playing since, let's see, I played it my whole life. Let's put it this way. As a
Mm-hmm.
kid, like I played, you summon big, huge monsters and you think that's the right way until you walk into your first locals and you get demolished by wind-ups, being your first game ever at a local. Oh man. Yeah, so I started during the wind-up Insector era, Dino Rabbit and all that good
Was
stuff. Yeah.
2012, I think.
Yeah, that
That's
was
a
a
while
while
ago.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I came to United States around like late 11, and I think that's when like Rabbit just came out. So yeah, I think it was 12. It's like almost 10 years ago, like 9 at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah, that card was so dumb.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
So have you been just playing the entire time since like the trio?
So I stopped for a while, like as I got older, I thought, I don't need to play cards. Like, what? Oh, I'm old now. I'm grown. I don't need to play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. And
Or like
then
you remember like what?
my buddy, like, he recently, like, he was like maybe like a year ago, he was like, "Hey, man, I know a deck that you would love." And I was like, "Oh, what? Sky Striker."
Oh,
And I was like, Sky Striker? Like, what is that? Is that like, like machines or something, like rocket monsters or something crazy? And it happened to be just a bunch of waifus, and I was like, oh, I'm in.
oh God.
Yeah, that was
That's
basically what sold me back into the game.
that's
And
pretty straightforward.
yeah, and the worst part of it all is I started playing the deck when Engage got banned and Kagari was at one. So I was like, oh
Oh,
no.
so you
Yeah.
didn't even play the complete version of the
No,
deck.
no, I'm
That's
still waiting for
unfortunate.
Engage to one.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and right now I'm currently I went to the invitational. I brought Prankids, and to be completely honest,
Wait,
that was
yeah.
probably the worst idea ever.
Wait, you got into the Invitational, the remote one?
I played on Saturday and I did really bad. It was pretty bad. I went
Oh,
0
wait,
3.
did you play the qualifiers that we're talking about?
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. That's what it was. Yeah, and
I thought you actually made it into the real Invitational.
no, yeah, one could dream.
Yeah.
But
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
I just realized, oh my God, I had just told you in a DM. I was like, hey, teach me how to, like, or I sent it on a paper. I was like, teach me so I don't lose to Ash.
uh,
And that's literally all that happened. All three games that I played, which I just packed my stuff up and I was like, there's no way I can make it after that. Like three losses in a row. Every game was just Ash or Gamma, and I could not do anything, or I just end up with like one Miamu on field. There was one guy that I played on my first match. He was playing Zephyra, like it was crazy
oh,
combo Zephyra with the
mm-hmm.
dinos in it,
Yep.
and I activated two evenly match in one battle phase, and he negated both of them.
Yeah, it sounds like a typical Zephyr thing.
Yeah, I was sad.
Okay, so you've been back for like at this point like a year-ish, I'll say.
Yeah,
Because Engage was banned like what February or January 2020,
yeah.
right?
Around
Yeah,
that time, that's when I started playing, like around
yeah.
January.
So it's like close to almost a year and a half. So when did you quit the game? You remember?
I quit literally like maybe like a year before Links or
A
something.
year before
Like
Link. Oh,
yeah.
Link was what? Link was middle of 17, so a year before Link 16. 16 is what? ABC Metaphor. Yeah, it was like Metaphor, ABC, those kind of times, right?
Yeah,
Something
I
like
remember that for sure. The
that. Yeah.
ABCs for sure I remember.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. So, well, so you actually didn't miss too much. You just missed like majority of the Link era, honestly.
Yeah,
right?
so I came into this like, I came super confused. I was like, what
Hmm.
the heck are these arrows? Like,
Yeah.
how do you summon this? Like, what the heck's going on? Yeah, I was
But
stressing out for
honestly,
it.
honestly, like it's funny. Like yes, you missed the whole Link era, but you hop back to the game at to a point where not long since you start playing again, the rule changed, so it's the same as you how you summoning like Synchro Exceeds Fusion again. Because like the
Oh,
rule
yeah,
change,
yeah,
yeah, right. Like at the beginning, we
yeah.
have to summon everything to like extra that zone,
Extra monster zone,
then
yeah.
where Link Monster point to. You pretty much skip the whole time where that rule is effective.
Yeah, I heard that it sucked.
It's yeah, it kind of suck a little bit, but people get used to it.
Yeah, like with any like any change in the game, we just get used to it.
Okay, so now you back you saying so I was assuming you've been playing like a lot of remote duels recently. Is that what happening?
Yeah, I play a good amount. Like a lot of my buddies just tell me like, hey, just play so you can like get better. Like even if you lose, just keep playing, and that's what I always do. I just regardless if I lose, I'm still gonna play for the experience. Because then I get
That's
to
a good
look back and I'm
mentality.
like, oh snap, I should have done this, I should have done that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just use it for the next game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good mentality. Like so you've only been playing like remote duels recently, right?
Yeah, I've never actually played like a big tournament or anything like that. Like the closest I got was locals and that was about it.
Yeah, and by the time you start, there's probably not any regionals anymore. Like you start again, there's like almost
Yeah,
no regionals. Yeah, okay. So you,
literally COVID.
yeah, I mean, it's like I think majority of the people who came to me asking for coaching session were in this kind of situation. Like the biggest tournament they played are just like remote duo extravaganza. That's like the biggest one they played.
Yeah, exactly. That
Hmm.
was about it for me too.
So, well, you got into the qualifier. That means you got the invite from the extravaganza, right? What was
Yeah.
your what deck and what placement? Like, you remember what record you got during the extravaganza?
Yeah, so I used Zulich. Literally spent like an hour before the event to build it. I was like, oh
I
man,
mean,
like am I gonna
it's Zulich, so I think an hour is
Yeah.
very sufficient for Zulich.
Yeah, but it was either that or just be a troll and run Numeron.
But
But
that's
but
not a good term right now.
yeah, yeah. So with Zulich, I okay, so I went game one, right? My opponent never showed up, so I got a bye. I was like,
Oh,
yay, I didn't lose my
that's
first
lucky.
game. That's nice.
That's lucky.
And then I lost 3 games in a row, dude. I lost 3 games in a row. I was ready to pack my stuff up and be like, you know what? I don't want to play this anymore. I just want to go to sleep. And I stuck through it because all my buddies were like, dude, just stay and play it through. So I
Hmm.
was like, they were like, if you don't win all of these, like, there's no point in like staying anymore. Like, if you don't win after this, like all of them, I think it was like 4 games that I had to win in a row. I won all 4 of them right after.
Oh, nice. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I played a bunch of crazy stuff. I
I mean,
played again.
at that point, you are in the X3 squad, so anything you see is probably gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it was so weird. I played against Pure Zodiac with Dragoon. I played Eldritch Palelio. I played man, what was it? This guy was like playing some crazy stuff. I think it was like Guru and Numeron and some other stuff. Like it was crazy. It was just a
One of
bunch
those.
of stuff that like I could have gotten through with it. All I needed was
Yeah, it's one of
like
those.
one little Zeus and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it. So well, that's not necessarily too bad. So let me see. You've been playing Prankids recently, at least for the qualifier, at least.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love it because my thing is I love like cards with like really nice art or like cartoony vibes. Like for me, my biggest prized possession is my Toon deck. Like I have that
Ah,
almost maxed out. Like that's just
fair,
that's the
fair.
thing I grew up on. And my first one of my first structured decks was Pegasus.
Ah, nice, nice, nice. So Prankids, I don't think I have one saved. Yeah, I don't have a Prankids sample list. Um, let me see. Well, I have a very good friend who's been playing Prankids, or at least been having Prankids for a while since they announced the Link One. And you say you are having issue dealing with what's called Ash and Gamma. I think that's the case.
Yeah, like after like well, I mean, the thing is like when you only draw one name, like most of the games that I had, I just drew really bad. And I think it was on me because I was trying to do something different. And you're probably gonna laugh at this, but I tried to go second with Prank Kids, and that was like probably the
Uh,
worst thing I could have done. Worst thing I could have done.
it's like it that like that like general idea probably only apply to Zoo because Zoo's existing.
Uh
Like
huh.
Prankids, functional wise, it's similar to Zoo because it's a one card engine
Yeah.
thing, but it doesn't have like that much power to break boards. So like, but for like Zoo cards, there's Dryden and Zeus, so it makes sense you go second because going first they're like blank cards. Zeus can be summoned, Dryden has no effect pretty much. But
Yeah.
that's why Zoo is, or either Zoo variants can go second. But Prankits is like, just with only hand traps, probably not going to be enough to survive turn one. And even when you are survive turn one, you're probably not able to play turn two because the your opponent will still have interruption on their board already.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see if I can grab a sample Prankits list from the recent. Oh, there's a couple of them on the LCS. See, I know like a lot of people don't, because based on the list, the sample list I see on the last LCS, there's like let me see, top four. Top four. There's a Prankit. Let me see if I can show it
Hmm.
on the stream right now. First, I'm gonna be switching to Discord. Change windows. Go through that close. And uh, window capture. Oops. Wait. Cool. So maybe can make it larger on the stream. Okay, here is like the well, I'll call it like sample. You should see my screen as well, right? The LCS list.
Yeah. Yeah. I see it.
Yeah. So these lists still have the same issue where their first kit could just get either ashed or gammaed, and they you were just having absolutely nothing afterwards, right? Like this look a
Yeah.
very standard version of it.
Hmm.
11 kits, 3 field, 3 fusion. Oh, is 3 fusion a common thing?
I love running three fusion because sometimes they like to banish it for some reason.
Oh wait, they also run desire, so I guess it makes sense. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to run. Okay, I guess 3 fusion is one of your way to deal with the Ash and Gamma. There's like 3 team. Let me see. Both of this one doesn't even run 3 team. Oh, but it has more floodgates. Cool. So like if you so for example, let's just bring the question here. How do these LCS topless deal with Ash or Gamma, right? Because see, there's both Ash and Gamma in other decks. This guy, this top four guy, his idea is probably like if Ash and Gamma happen, there's no way to prevent them happen. Yes. After
Hmm.
Ash and Gamma being resolved, you have 3T desires to draw to just power raw draw into your fusion spell or instant fusion, right? So that's your
Yeah.
into it. And well, yeah, 3T and desire and a fusion and instant fusion. So that's plan number one. There's nothing in the side that helps that. Cool. This guy's idea is like if fusion gets stopped, he can just go either set floodgates. Honestly, for Prankits as a deck, like for example, you summon your first kit, leading to Link, you got Ashed. You have nothing else. You can arguably even activate your Mr. Mind. It's true you will be locking yourself, but you'll also prevent your opponent summoning more than one monster.
Oh
And
man.
right?
Talking about Mystic Mine,
Oh,
highly 1000% regret not running Mystic Mine
yeah.
throughout that whole tournament. Like, there was so many moments I was like, man, a Mystic Mine would do me so well right now. I didn't run it. I didn't run There Can Only Be One either. So I
Hmm.
was like, I had that mindset of like, oh, I want to try Prankids in a different route. Like, I wanna like, like spice it up a bit, go second, blah blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
it
Worst
depends.
worst thing ever. I like from now on. I'm just like I'm gonna throw three Mystic Mine. I'm gonna throw three.
See,
There Can Only Be One, and just call it a day.
those thoughts, like it's not a bad thing to have thoughts like that, but on the other hand, those are something you should be tested and have a conclusion whether they're worth running or not before you enter the real tournament.
Yeah.
Like if you wanna, for example, do well in the qualifier, maybe you should just go into like a couple remote locals the week before and test out all different ideas. And you will know which one are good, which one are not that good, which one are effective for things you need to cover, and which one's gonna end with staying in the deck, and which one gonna be end with taking out of the deck for the qualifier. So let me see. This guy's idea is like, for example, if Ash get resolved, just activate Mr. Mind Pass. Next turn, as long as you have another field spell, or even just another Mr. Mind, you set the field spell, then you summon another kid, and you keep comboing. So Mr. Mind is here just like a one turn use to bypass to get your time. Hello, still there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm here. I'm here. My bad.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm
hear
just thinking
anything.
about how I miss Mystic Mine.
Let's see if we have more lusts, more prank. Oh, there's another prank gets. This one is pretty much the same as the first one, where it's just 3T, 3T droplet, desire, no, 3T desire, then fusion, instant fusion, and with one more copy of Thunder Dragon Fusion Planet Combat. Right, looks standard. Well, this is a completely different deck, so we
Oh
don't
my
probably don't
god, this is so. Oh my, I hate seeing that.
even. That's just a completely different deck, so we don't even talk about it. All right, this is another version which is pretty much the same thing except for with one more copy of one for one. No big difference, honestly. Oh, here's another one. Yeah, it's the same thing. Just max out desire, max out the draw power, and recovery plans after hand trap being used, and work on it. Okay, so pretty much that's the general idea. See, even though I don't really play the deck, I barely even played it. By just looking at all the ratios, I can already pretty much build a sample deck for anyone who's hopping in because the core never changes. Okay, so it's three mail, one of the bird, two bird, one dog, one dragon, two rock. Oh, two rocket. Oh, it's two rocket. I thought it's always two butler for some reason.
I like running two Butler. It's like my thing. I like to smash boards.
Hmm. Yeah, I've seen either way. There's like majority of them are even choosing one of each, which I guess makes sense because they want to fit like more utility links or even exceeds. Yeah, that's fair. All right, cool. So let me see. Dragon. This is only spells. Actually, got three off. So 3, 9, 11 kids, three spell, two feel. Do you even on the trap? The trap is gone. The trap is gone. Two feel, one continues, three fusion, then the non prank gets card. Instant, um, what's the other? Instant terraforming. That's about it. Well, everyone has a toad, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is pretty much the prank gets core, right? Yeah, and we technically just covered the way to deal with Ash. So, one of my friend who's been playing the deck, I don't think he's still running it. Oh, actually, let me switch back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. Change windows. Should be back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. See, even though um uh even though the fact I don't even play the deck, I have a good friend who does play it, so I play against him before, so I know
Hmm.
the at least the basics of the deck. And by just looking at like how many lists we saw, we saw like 4 or 5 of them on the last LCS top list, and see those lists together already give us an idea about how the topping list should be. And I think before my friend, just to deal with the Ash and Gamma problem, he was playing what's that, Parallel Exceed? Yeah, he was playing 3 copy Parallel Exceed. So the idea is on summon of any Prankids, it's gonna be like you link one, then the kids will be one, and the parallel gonna be two. And so you chain block it technically.
Yeah.
And when parallel gets summoned, summon another parallel, you can have a rank 4 play, which I think the choices were either, let me see.
And Rafflesia.
Yeah, I think the choices were either Rafflesia for the trap that stopped Nibiru, and just Dweller for because it's Dweller.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like an
Nice.
idea. Also, you can just max out parallel and still have desire, which isn't a big issue. Like Sala
Yeah.
also have like max desire, max parallel. So let me see. If it's Rafflesia, I think it's what, Gravedigger.
Gravedigger's
Yeah,
Chapel. Yeah.
Gravedigger. Yeah. So this is like a small package you can put in. If you want to go like a little bit outside standard kind of feeling, but you this is like a package that help you fixing the Ash or Gamma problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. There also you play remote, right? So there's like a budget issue. Might not even able to afford like 3 copy of 3T.
Oh no, I got him. I
Oh,
got him.
you got
See,
him?
I
Nice, nice.
like I told you, I work like 12 hours a day, and I gotta pay
Yeah, you
bills.
do.
Triple balance, baby.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's good. Because I remember earlier today, there was like we are talking about Tri Brigade Zoo deck, and the guy was like, "Well, he's trying his very best to get an access code, but he doesn't have it now." So yeah, that could be a thing because there's a decent amount of people playing remote now. So yeah, this is
Yeah,
a
it's crazy.
pretty much the whole core. Got any other questions? To be honest.
Uh honestly, the one thing I really, really wanted to look into was the Dragon Link, because I have the whole thing built, and I've been practicing with it a lot more, but it's like my brain just melts every time that I get ashed, gammaed, lancia'd, especially Droll or net lancia. Like that just makes me like not be able to think right. Like I'm like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Or I overextend and I just get punished for it. I get punished for overextending, and I want to learn how to not overextend but be efficient.
Which version of Dragon Link you have?
Uh, Basically,
Tiding,
this one, yes,
tiding. All right,
hiding, yeah.
cool. So you don't have the Rocky PK one. All right, cool, got it. Um, so this one is quite tricky since this whole deck itself doesn't have like a general route. It kind of does, but doesn't really specify it.
Hmm.
So when people like start play the deck, they will often be in your situation where they just have no idea like what they are doing, what they're supposed to be doing, and in addition to that, if a hand trap being applied, like what's the optimal play to do afterwards? That's like the quite common thing when people start picking up this deck. So the general idea, like I usually just cover it. So the general idea for the dragon deck is like you make sphere on the top, then you make either Warless Cigar Dragon into LP, so you can move the LP, or you make LP Striker. You go LP into pretty much it's, if you don't have Tiding, you grab Chamber into Tiding. If you already have Tiding, you grab but you don't have like rockets, you go into like either rockets, go into tracer. If you have everything, you go into like a brotor into Lavanier. That's like your pretty much your line, your things you summon of LP.
Hmm.
And once you get those access, you turn things back into Pisty to sort of like generate like because we're gonna eventually go into a Quabble. Quabble require rockets as a material, so you need to go into Pisty to bring the rockets back to the field.
Yeah.
And because there are two guard dragon usually on the field at that point, you need to link them into like a Romulus to so you're able to link away all the guard dragons eventually. So link two of them into Romulus, then you link Romulus into Quaboro, then Quaboro pop itself to do some synchro plays to end the board. That's how the general idea is for the deck. So that's pretty much like if you are playing against yourself, this is the right path you should be taking. And
Oh,
in addition to it, it's like when hand trap getting involved, it's just getting tricky. It's like mm, this is those kind of that you really have to think. You have to play in your mind before you actually play the cards. Um, it's not. How should I say this? It's like you really have. So, for example, let's bring out what's the hand trap you listed. For example, we got Ash at the very beginning, and it actually hurts. We probably don't even have enough monster to link summon into like LP Pissy Gold Dragon things, right? Are you able to end with just like a sphere? If you can, that might just be the best thing you can do.
just end on spears.
Yeah, because just looking at the whole deck, um, ignore the non-engine parts because those are pretty much you have to raw draw it, so it's not really in the equation about what you can make. So just looking at the core, you will realize the real interruption or things that can treat as interruption are like Levy Rip one, that's the first. Tiding as a trap, that's two. Sphere, that's three.
And Nocto,
Um,
right?
uh, wait, Nocto? You mean
Like
the
like
graveyard? The
like
graveyard?
to well, like more like a, by interruption you mean like to just mess with your opponent or like to
Yeah,
just protect yourself?
to mess around with your opponent, pretty much.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking Nocto like to chain block,
Well,
like to protect yourself.
that's more like a protecting yourself. That's like a safety kind of thing.
Mm.
Yeah, what I'm saying is literally just like the shouldn't be saying negates because like Levy isn't a negate. It's more like just things that can causing advantage to you against your opponent. That's
Oh,
like apply on your opponent instead of apply more on you. So Levy ripped the card from him. He took some disadvantage. Tiding is a trap, obviously. Sphere has the fact that anything that will make your opponent feel annoying, pretty much. And so that's three. And Appaloosa is another one. That's another one. Then will be Savage and Horror, right? So there's technically six different kind of ending, quote unquote, interruption total you can possibly have. However, getting all six is almost it's not possible in like one turn. So the usually ending board is just like you try to combo and choose as many like different kind of combination you can have of interruption as possible. Like people usually try to end with like Levy Tiding, Savage Spear, Horrid. That's like five out of the six you can have on the board, right?
pretty crazy when you end on it is pretty crazy.
Yeah, when you're able to end on it, it's very crazy. But the chance you end on it, it's not that high. And when
Well, is
your hands are not good or you got hand trap, then you are just be like try to end it. Oh, maybe that the most I can do is like sphere tiding savage, which isn't bad.
is yeah. So when someone activates Dark Ruler no more, and you have Hot Red and a set tidying, do you activate the tidying and then chain Hot Red and negate the
Um,
Dark Ruler? Is that
the
what you do?
issue is if your opponent have nothing on the field or in the graveyard and they just dark ruler, you can't even activate tiding because you cannot bounce something that activated already and that's like conform to center graveyard.
Hmm.
So it's like unless he have, for example, he already ashed. There's an ash in the graveyard. Then you 100% like chain like the tiding on the ash then you chain hard red to negate the dark
Uh,
ruler. But if he has absolutely nothing, then you just can't even do it. Like the pro player recently has been using just comboing, and actually instead of like search tiding and set it, they try to grab it and send it to graveyard. And you'll obviously have a chamber in the graveyard with it, right? So when your opponent
yeah.
dark ruler you go active tiding in the graveyard to try to revive the chamber, and the same challenge use Hara to negate the dark ruler.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's what people been playing recently, which
Wow,
is
that's actually
effective, but it's also like required quite a bit to set it up.
that's if you send it with like Chaos Ruler or something, right?
It's pretty much usually like if you get a Chaos Warrior Lucky Mill, yes, of course. If you didn't, which that's probably the usual case, you will probably just use so like for example use LP access to chamber, then you search the tiding, then later when you resolve a quabble, you just pitch a tiding. So it's like I can give up this tiding as a trap interruption, but I get everything else immune to Dark Ruler. Or someone in the chat see if you have quick launch, you can yes. But think about the odds you have a quick launch and you don't use it. That means your hands are pretty busted, right? The
Yeah.
odds are not really like for you to really full combo and still have a quick launch saved. It's really not happening that often. It's happened less than just purposely access the chamber and tiding, I think.
I mean, you could always have a quick launch if you have it under your mat.
Oh, that's not something good to talk about.
No, I'm just playing.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's
But yeah,
those are some small things. Go ahead, go ahead.
that I didn't think about that though. Like if you had like a set quick launch, just activate quick launch when they dark ruler and then chain hot red. That's crazy. It's actually
Well,
crazy.
yeah, but you still have to raw draw quick launch and not use it compared to tiding,
Yeah,
either search it or just mill it through it. So
the tiding play.
that's like how the real pro player playing this version recently. Like I've hopped in the call to talk about it with them, and that's pretty much it. And basically, like dealing hand trap, it just depends on your hands, because like for example, there for you see the current list, right? There's gammas in the side. Like these gammas are like purposely being there. I want them more for going first because it's something that stop both Lancia and Droll. Like obviously, if you have a call by your opponent activate those hand trap, you're gonna call it. But it's in some cases even applied to gamma. For example, you open with safer plus gamma. You just obviously want to tribute safer by itself, right?
Yeah,
So it doesn't matter your opponent Astro or Lancia, your board's empty for gamma to negate it. And even despite you might open like safer router, but you have a gamma, you probably still want to tribute gamma just to be safe. Despite safer router is like almost a complete, almost a winning combo. You just want to prefer to be safe instead of prefer to be greedy. That's the usual case. That's like one way to like kind of deal with hand trap. The other way, like once you already got hand trap, you just you one way you have to think is like, what's the best ending board? What's still available to me based on how many things still on the board? Like, um, for example, if you already used like if recharger is already in the graveyard, and you go Sphere LP Striker and they ash the LP, you can go Striker, pop either LP or Striker itself, get the recharger pitcher to recharger to revive the recharger itself into Pisty. And then maybe you have a chance to bring back like Tracer or bring back um I mean pretty much only Tracer at this point, right, for this deck. Yeah, only Tracer for this deck. So if you have a Tracer, you at least have like either a savage or maybe you can bet your luck on the chaos ruler and hopefully end with a hot red, which is still possible. Like,
yeah. I think when I was practicing once with my buddy, like I had gotten ashed Scrolled and Gamma all in one turn, and I still ended
Oh,
on Spears.
yeah.
I ended on Spears, Savage, and the Hot Red still somehow.
Hara is still under those three? Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It was crazy, and I'm still learning the deck. So like, I feel like stuff that I do, like I could easily get punished though. Like when I overextend, I feel like something worse could have happened.
Yeah, it could be like you can deal with everything at the same time every time, like for the deck. But like one way to practice what you're trying to do is like just play against yourself, play against the wall. That's how
Mhm.
you should say it. Just pull out your cards on your desk, play against the wall, uh, of like play against nothing and just play against yourself. Draw your opening hand. Try to combo most. First of all, try to combo most optimally. Then, based on that, imagine what will be the situation that hand trial will be resolved, and if that resolved, what kind of the most optimal board you can build after that hand trap. So those are like the things.
Oh yeah, sometimes I'm working and I just like shuffle my
Hmm.
cards up and I just like draw five and I just combo it
Hmm.
out.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking about doing was just kind of setting up an AI with a bunch of hand traps and just playing through it.
Um, yeah, you can also do that. That's honestly, but the issue for AI is that the AI don't necessarily throw a hand trap at the best timing. Like they can just be
Yeah.
Ash the first render. Like you can start with quick launch and they will be like Ash. Well, that's definitely not a thing that you will see in the real life.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. Chad has a question. Let me see. How can I play Archfiend Dragon without a Chaos Synchro? You mean play Hara without Chaos Synchro? Is that what you're trying to ask? Is that a question? I think that the answer is just no. You cannot. Well, you technically can, but it's just not ideal. I think that's the case. Well,
I have a I have a question. How do you feel about that other Archfiend Dragon Synchro? I think it's like a level 8. I forgot what it's called. It's like it's,
Horrid? Maybe
no.
what?
It's like
Starlight?
yeah. There you
The
go.
one that you burn for time. That's it. That
Ye-
one.
Yeah.
That one's like I'll always cite it for uh. I will always cite it for because you play remote duel, so you need it for time. But in general, it's not needed.
Mm.
Because think about it, if you are able to be in a situation where you can perform a level A synchro and resolve it, um, your opponent probably have nothing else over there that matters for you to blow up anyway. Like you can probably just make a savage or just chaos for a meal five. It's arguably the same. The effect only matters when there's like you need it for time.
That's its main purpose.
Yes, that's almost the only purpose. Like the other effect don't even matter. The only effect matters is burn. And you can easily summon it when you are almost in time. Because the for this deck, it's very easy to just combo for 5 minutes like normal, and at the end of the combo, I'm not summoning Savage, I'm summoning Horror and blow up the board for game when it's time. But
That's
that's like the thing people own like usually because usually they won't have that many free spaces in the extra deck, so they just toss it in the extra deck, toss it in the side deck, and probably swap with something else in the extra deck when siding for game three when they need it.
do you actually play that little dragon, the one that's next to quad
The
and
one next to
in
this one,
between Oppo? Yeah.
protectable. I like to have it. What was the reason this is here? Oh, this was supposed to be fiber, I think. But the other day, what was the question? Oh, the other day, my friend, I think he's asking me about how to deal with contacting C for the remote do qualifier. And I was like, just play the protector whelp. That's a free material you can always summon, and doesn't and just completely ignore contacting C.
Oh yeah, because it says two monsters.
Yeah, it says two
Uh,
monster. It's a generic dragon. In this specific version, you don't lock in dark until the very end. So the second they contact C, just probably link the C and something else into protect the whelp, and you probably be fine.
You could also do the dino token too, right?
Yes,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
two monster to any
Dang.
monster.
Well, I'm
Um,
bringing that out of my bulk
yeah,
then.
yeah. Let me see. There's a Ryan said Ash on quick launch is not that bad if it's the only hand trap you have. Well, maybe just my example be a very bad one, but yeah, but I mean, the chat probably get what I'm trying to say. It just the example might not be ideal because for the deck. Okay, you got any more questions?
I was gonna ask you if you could do like a whole like combo thing, just so
Oh
I
yeah,
could
just
like,
just
yeah,
test hands.
yeah.
Cool. Oh, nice opening. Okay. Let me see. What attribute? Attribute yourself. Get that. Oh, it's game one, so probably not even ignore. Just ignoring a lot of things. Oops. Misclicked. That would never happen in real life. Yeah, so I was supposed to summon it, then link away, so the Warlock's God Dragon won't be dead for like another 2, 3 plays. Then I think I'll just like summon out black, make sphere, summon out LP, move, then do the regular thing. So, well, that can be ignored. Alright, this hand is also arguably as good as the other one. It's not as good as the other one, but it's not bad. Depends on what we draw. What draw's broken? Damn. Not needed though. Hmm. I have 2 rockets in call. Oh. So also fun fact because the protector whelp is a dragon
Hmm.
and it's a light. So for example, in situation where you already open ribbing, that Romulus arguably is just a guard at this point. You can just link your guard dragon into a protector whelp and serves additional light instead of the wind in the graveyard for the future. Because does
Oh,
come the light attribute does come up for both Chaos Ruler and Levy in this version. Because you actually don't have that many light monster in the deck. That's also a fun thing. And people like my friend Bing complaining like the fiber is really not doing anything in the extra deck. It's barely being summoned. So I was like, then well, you can just cut it in case contacting C.
yeah. I never really used the Hulk Fibrax when I had it. It was just literally there.
Yeah, it was there just in case. More yeah,
Yeah.
like that. So LP, yeah, we have rockets, we don't have tidings, so we grab chamber.
So would you say that grabbing Chaos 11 years should always be like the last thing that you actually need out of everything else?
That's how I think. Cause think about it. If you grab chamber, grab a trap, the trap can pretty much just be like you use the trap to get rid of something on your opponent's board, right? And that
Hmm.
I think usually just be gone completely, at least for the turn. That when it matters. So if you summon Levy, what you really do is you throw away a card in your hand to randomly hit a card from your opponent. You don't really plus
Yeah.
here. You only trade it away. Where if you grab a trap, it technically do the same thing, but the trap has like better follow-ups. It really depends. Like if for this version, it's especially because it's just called tiding version. If you don't have tiding, I'll prefer to grab tiding. Tiding is usually slightly better in my opinion. Because like tiding, what you can hit on is on the board is known. It's more conformed. Where levy hit one is more random. You just have no control to it. So that's at least how I look at it. Okay, so what we have in the graveyard? A lot of different things. Pop this and legs. Some rocket into living. Oh, we can do the fun play in this hand. Striker pop, grab synchron, and this thing into Pisty. Pisty grab. Do I have to grab a rocket? I have to grab a rocket, right? Yeah. And those two into grab ravine. I have normal summon, right? Ravine effect, send somewhat send safer. I could just mill Levy here, so I still have my Levy access. Like you see here, because I do drew the safer of Chaos Space. So
Yeah.
despite I didn't search Levy of the Brotor of LP, I can still just mill it. But I think because this hand I have something else, I prefer to just mill. I prefer to do something else differently. To mill router. Router will grab me another synchron or tracer. Don't even matters. I think I'll grab a tracer. Then that should be everything I needed, right? Tiding. Let me read the chat. Tiding version about counting dragons you can get on feel like PK. It does, but not as like specific as PK because there are more like variables. This version heavily relying on well, ideally you want War Lexicon Dragon to move your monster. So that's like very awkward when you because you sometimes you combo with three, sometimes you have to combo with four. And that's one. Two is like this the ending board monster, a majority of them synchro summons. So the level matters, like the other guy said. So that's also the tricky part. So yes, you probably do a little bit counting at the beginning, but once you know it's the same, once you know you have enough, you just don't need to count anymore. Like this here is absolutely do nothing for link rating, but we have to use it for synchro summon. So well, you see why I just holding the normal summon the entire time because I can do synchron into a free chaos ruler.
I think that's the one effect that I forget a lot. That you can normal summon it and
Yeah.
special summon the router. It's
Yep.
crazy.
hmm Of course. Oh, we got one finally. It's not even a good one to get. My meal is always trash for some reason. It's like a chaos space that's already used with all the good cards I did not open, and one of the arguably worst card to add to my hand. Whatever, it's fine. Here, here I can just go these two into quad. See, this is the situation where I said earlier, if you really fear Dark Ruler, because the next play we're gonna do is quad pitch one, pop itself to special summon Tracer and Synchron back, right? And Synchron
Hmm.
Chaos Ruler, we're going to Hara, and Tracer by itself is Savage. Then we have the Tidings set. But if for example, it's like if you really scared Dark Ruler, you can just go quad a fat, pitch Tiding, pop itself, special summon the Rockets instead, and then going to Hara and let me see, it's those in the baby. Use Tracer, pop Ravine into Charger, then into Savage. So yes, you'll have one less interruption compared to normal, but you end it with the tiding in your graveyard. So for example, your opponent draw phase, main phase, activate Dark Ruler. They have nothing in the graveyard. You just go channeling 2 tiding in the graveyard, then channeling 3 hard red, negate the Dark Ruler over there. So this is
That's
like
crazy.
yeah, so you still have Sphere Savage, plus I think this is another card we didn't use entire opening hand. So you have Sphere Savage at least for whatever they have the rest. And even you keep it, this is like you still have follow ups despite being Dark Ruler. Like this is gonna flow into a Bro Tour. Bro Tour, if you do play Fantaz, you can just search a Fantaz. And where's the tiding set? Still okay, honestly. Yeah, so this is pretty much one of the general idea of tiding version. It's more like honestly, you do the link summon at the beginning, but at the end, you making your big monster. Those are all synchro summons. So this is actually the synchro summon are more important than the link summons. More like a synchro summon deck. Like your link summons are literally just sphere, and the rest are just set up for the synchro summon. And your
Yeah, the
main
little
goal is
ones.
just synchro summons. Well, but with this hand, you didn't have to. Yeah, correct. This hand specifically, I have Cosmic, so I didn't even need to discard. I'll just pretend like this is a blank card, so I'll just be like, whatever you already have, you can just pitch Tiding to do it. Obviously, for this specific hand, I would just be like, pitch the Tracer, set Tiding, and Cosmic Ambassador. Was like Sphere, Savage, Horror, Tiding, Cosmic. That doesn't even lose to Mr. Mine.
Mystic Mine.
Yeah, yeah. So it's one of the deck, the idea, the general idea to play it. Whoa, wow, damn, this hand's crazy. Hold on a second.
Yeah. Wish I drew
Oh,
hands like that.
I mean, this is only a random opening here against like nothing. It's probably not happening in real life. Uh, let me see. This will just. Do I go safer router or do I go? I can go safer router than pitch that. This is 2, 4. I can do that. Yeah, I can do safer router. This give me 2 draws. Um, safer router has an issue where it could lose a little bit harder to hand trap. Just because we have to pitch the tracer off the space, and but either way, I think it's fine. Oh, I think I searched the wrong card. No, I normal summon. It's fine. I'll just quick launch for the other one later. And draw him first. See if we draw a good dark. Nope.
How do you
And
feel about triple talents in the deck?
I personally don't like it because it's a card I think I said in like a couple other videos. At the beginning of the format, so usually like the format will go through like a cycle usually, and depends on different player. The cycle could last for a whole format for them. For like it's like a transition cycle, and for me it only lasts for a week to really go through the whole cycle. So the trend cycle is like remember at the very beginning of this format, the first LCS, the winning list was like 3 Fantaz, and um so people start having a trend at the beginning of the cycle going
Yeah,
playing Fantaz, right? Then
yeah.
because there are then people because there are people playing Fantaz, then the tournaments after, the trend was 3 Fantaz and 3T, because Phantasm obviously good. They draw you Dark Ruler or Droplet. 3T just like a good card against Hand Trap, especially good against Phantasm. And um because now more people playing 3T even in the main deck, Phantasm seems much worse now, much less effective. So there are people actually cutting Phantasm and only left with 3T. So this is the next stage of the circle, and then because Phantasm are actually gone, 3T become less effective. So there's at the end of the cycle, no one's playing 3T or Phantasm anymore. And you can even see the next stage be like, oh, since no one playing 3T, I'm gonna play Phantasm back because they drove me Dark Twitter on the board. So this is just a whole cycle to repeat itself. Where the easiest way to just not even bothering with any of those cards. So you just play something else, and you're outside the circle now. Because otherwise, you'll be like, if you play Fantas, you lose to the one who's played 3T. But if you play 3T, you beat everyone who's not playing Fantas because you have a higher odds to drop Dark Rulers. So that's like my idea. I just don't want to. I just want to fall into this loop because different people are in like different stage of this loop. So one day I might be on one side of the loop, then I lose to whoever is like a little bit ahead of me, or I'm just a whole complete cycle ahead, but I'm going back to him. That kind of random things that can happen. So at the end, I personally just prefer just not even play either of those. It's not even like a big difference to not play 3T or Fantas, honestly.
I think there's like better options, right?
It depends. Some people might just not think. Some people might still be in the circle and not realize they're in the circle. And also, the format is honestly ending. So whatever, like when like next pack comes out, or the next balance comes out, the whole trend gonna be completely different, and it just don't even matter for now. Like there's not even real tournaments. That's the biggest thing.
You think this deck's gonna get hit in the next ban list?
Should be LP should get banned. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't
That's pretty true.
it? Like it's been what was LP out early 19? Yeah, it was Chicago was the first one, right? It's been like two, almost actually by the list was that was 2.5 years. Like you can say our grouping was the problem back then, but now like LP should get hit like almost like a year ago. I was expecting LP get banned like last year, April or July, honestly, and it just keeps surviving. Let me see. Let's finish this hand first. We still have a chaos space here. Space router, space router. Oh, safer router Nocto. Yeah, that's a pretty good combo. Hope you draw something good like a levy. That's not bad at least. Black. Search another white. Probably still prioritize hiding because once we get to chaos ruler, we mill. If we mill, oh no, our Ravine gonna be alive. Yeah, Ravine has no real target to mill, so we're gonna mill the lobby eventually. Uh, Mill chamber or summon chamber, chamber effect. Grab tiding. I hate energy. Then striker, pop, grab, tracer out. Oh, I have boost sector. Haven't used. Wait a second. This is one of those. How did I put two rockets of Buddha out? And I can do that. Cool. Into Pisty. See, this is the part where I have to start thinking about how to synchro summon. And I think the easier way will just be grab this. Then two of them into Rom. Rom grab. Jeez, we have so many cards in
Yeah, that's
here.
crazy.
I mean,
And it's all
we did open safer router chaos space and router vision gonna draw one and space gonna draw one. Space gonna also leave the white hand. We also didn't use any field spell. Yeah, it's about right.
all
Quick
gas.
lunge, quick lunge for this. Into chaos ruler. Ideally we mill a levy plus a tiding, so we don't even need to pitch the tiding. But even we don't, we can just ravine pitch something, mill levy safer at the back, then quad pitch the tiding to protect the dark ruler. So lucky dark ruler mill, please. Brotor. Oh, we got a tiding. We don't need to mill tiding. Grab the Brotor. Might as well. Okay, so we can keep the tiding at the end of the combo. That's good. Number one. Let me see which feels better to keep on the board. They both gonna get destroyed, right? No, we can levy at the very end. That's fine, cool. Summon our tracer and this and this into quad. Quiver check. Right. Brotor is probably just better to send. Yeah, better to send to graveyard. Quad, pitch, sphere only summon the deck, right? Contribute hand or deck. Will we ever summon Brotor? No. Pitch levy. No, pitch Brotor, pop quad. And then special summon 4 and 1. Then 1 8 into 9. 4 pop field. Special the other 4 into Savage. Savage effect to equip thus Ravine pitch Y Dragon send Levy safer add Levy back then drop Levy black striker or banish the other striker, yeah. Levy rip one, and then we can go set. Oh, this is one of those hands where, yeah, we did end with having another random quick launch left on in our hand because we drew absolutely fucking busted.
That's crazy.
So yeah, this is the ending board. During our opponent's turn, first of all, he only had 5 cards in hand because we ripped one with Levy. Second, then we have a tidy in the graveyard, so even he Dark Ruler, we're just gonna chain the tidy in the graveyard and chain hard red, negate the Dark Ruler. It will make this tiding being dead because you can only use either or.
Yeah.
Yeah, but ultimately we survive a Dark Ruler, and after that we still have Seal, Savage, and Ashing Hand. And our follow up next turn involving the levy gonna be bounced. Oh well, no, the tiding will be negated. The tiding will be stay on the field. The chamber will be summoned. The levy will most likely die, and we have Ravine to mill another copy of Safer to the graveyard to recycle the levy. And then, do we have another Chaos Space in the graveyard? Not this game. We didn't mill it. But it's still fine. Like we also have a quick launch as backup. Sphere gonna flow into something, and if anything dies, because I think Brotor's Brotor gonna come out, and Brotor can just also search like. Well, I don't think I'm playing Phantasme, but if you do play Phantasme, you can search a Phantasme for whatever reason.
I also noticed something. You run that little silver rocket. What is it good for?
So I personally, when I'm trying this version, I really hate the fact there's only one level 4 target for my tracer, and I always draw the charger or I mill it with my chaos ruler. So it's like there are so many times because I only run one copy of level 4, my tracer can't even make a savage by itself because it's already either being used or it got milled. And
Yeah, then you're stuck with two rocket
yeah,
synchros.
like yeah, and then it was like we'll chase it some pop, some of the synchro doesn't do shit, and that's why I was like, all right, let me choose another low for rocket. And I think at the earlier stage of the format where Shadar was more popular, there were actually people playing a silver just for the purpose. Like, there's a low possibility you can just boost sector silver, crush the window, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, yeah, silver is probably better. Yeah, someone just asked like, what isn't like Tutor Charger be better? In case you actually do draw both, you actually be able to bring both out by boost sector. Where if you have two recharger, you just pretty much have dual going on one, and also one recharger is enough since striker can always access it. Um, like silver being able to, although the chance is not high, but it exists. It has the ability to crush window, and also at the same time, it's a different name for boost sector. I think it's at least better than the second charger.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So, well, that's more a personal preference. It's like I'm not even playing this for the reason it can crush window. The crush window part is a bonus. The reason is just I would like to my tracer to have a real target to someone make a savage because I was struggling to resolve that for some random reason. That's pretty much that's the idea. Like that's probably the only thing really special about this list compared to the other standards. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to just sit down, play with the wall, 1v1 a wall, and
Yep.
just test out the combos
hmm
and see what I can do with it. I have been doing that, so it does help a lot. Cause I remember watching your YouTube video and you said that same thing to somebody else. You're like, oh, just pretend like you're playing a wall,
hmm
and like I took that advice and I just kept doing that. Like every
Yeah.
day at work, I'll just like test hands and I'll just play. Like even though I don't think it's good, like I still like like I'm still getting familiarized with what the deck does.
Least like
For the
able
most
to
part.
play the cards correct if you are uninterrupted for sure. And
Yeah.
the better you are when you are playing uninterrupted, the at least will get better if you got interrupted because you will know what you can do afterwards. Because like think
Hmm.
about it, when you draw an awkward opening hand, it's sometimes pretty much equivalent to you draw a good opening hand but you got hand trapped.
Yeah.
So it's like if you are able to practice like optimal with those awkward hand, then you will know like, oh, I drew a good opening, but I got hand trap. But that's still gonna be the same as the awkward hand. I can just still play it out.
Uh,
Yeah, if my wall in my room has a life point counter going upwards, that should probably be like millions or billions. I think. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for the dragon. Or got any other questions I can answer? To be honest.
no, honestly, you kind of like went over a lot of things that I had like a lot of like confusion on, and just watching you play two cans like that actually like just helped a lot seeing like what I can do. Like before, my biggest mistake was just summoning Romulus right away, like on the
Oh
main
yeah,
monster zone.
yeah. This is one of the like mm, the tricky part about this deck is like you actually prefer not to summon Rom early because you need Rom to unlock your Guard Dragon later. But once you actually play the Protector Whelp, you can actually do that because eventually like you have another link to unlock your Guard Dragons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Like some hands you actually have to get Rom on the top just to have enough dragons, and then you link the Rom into Spear to do the thing. But for a situation where you don't need to, then you just don't have to do it. Like this specific version is built based on you don't have to make ROM early at all. Well, yeah, no point for Delingers in this version because you barely dark lock yourself until the very end. You dark lock yourself when you are already ready to synchro summon. That's it.
Once you already have spears, right?
Yeah. Once you already have spear and you go through all the guard dragons. Like my PK version on the other hand is like I'm assuming I'm gonna dark lock myself at the very beginning to have enough monster to combo. So it's completely different. At that point, I need a lot of dark extra deck monsters. Like the dragon lock actually doesn't even hurt me that much. The dark lock was like the biggest like limits on this version. But on the other hand, there's enough dark monster that's good in the extra deck for me to use. So it's really like which of the big one in my PK version is on a dark, right?
How do you feel about droplets in the other build? Like I see that you run droplets in this one, but not on the other one.
These are just drops and Archer is more like personal preference at this point, I'll say. I really
Mm,
like even I play the tiding version, honestly, I will be running probably droplets in real life. Just for the fact I don't like there's still good discard. Like router can be discarded. Even all the rockets can technically be discarded because you just gonna boost sector them back from the graveyard.
yeah.
And so because of that, like you can also do like something. For example, your opponent activates something, draw phase, chilling one. You go chilling two, quick launch, chilling three, dropless, send the quick launch, and something else, negate two, which usually is enough.
Huh.
Because
Oh.
yeah, you can go like Chingo quick play spell. then use droplet to cost that quick play spell on the field to as a cost. So
Wow.
that's like a tricky thing. So ultimately, when I actually get to play, I don't see myself really having issue of not like I have to cost too many cards in my head to drop it, so I couldn't have enough to win. Almost never had that situation. But on the other hand, I really love the aspect of droplet being a quick play because it's not ideal, but it's at least usable going first. Where Dark Ruler is absolutely not usable going first. And Droplet, on the other hand, can cover slightly more things than other because like Droplet can cover for example, you summon against Prankids, they summon Butler. Well, they don't summon Butler until they're gonna blow up your board. So Dark Lord is absolutely not useful here. But Droplet, on the other hand,
Mhm.
is very useful as long as you don't tribute yourself, which you most likely you won't tribute yourself for the first one, because you always want to banish Meowman in the graveyard for the first one. And as long as I cause a monster for Droplet, your Butler cannot respond to it, so you couldn't chain the second one anyway. So that was against Prankids. Against like Dinos nowadays, like recently they've been playing Size Turbo in the Dinos. So Dark Lord is absolutely useless against Size. Where Droplets on the other hand is pretty amazing against Size.
Oh yeah, you talking about the Dino deck with the artifact scythe?
Yeah. It's
That
like
thing is ridiculous.
yeah, in the I think in the LCS they will be like because LCS is such a small environment, they pretty much know what their opponent playing before the round even start. So what they do is, if they know they're playing against Dragon, they choose to go first after winning dice roll and set up size. If they know they are not playing Dragons, they go in second like normal Dinos.
Damn.
And Droplets just cover that, which is like, all right, you can go first. And I'm just gonna Droplet both your size and conductor because his draw phase you can do at the very beginning. You can't even miss it. Well, monster usually can't even be chained to it, so not like it matters.
Wow.
So yeah, that's
Oh,
more honestly, it's more personal preference. I just really love Droplet because it's a quick play spell. That's it. It's
just it, and you also do damage, right? Like that's
you also
also
do
a
damage.
big
You can
draw.
actually kill them. Also, a drop, no, a dragoon that's being dark ruler still not that easy to out. But a dragoon that being dropleted, you can worst case
Cut it in half.
normal
Yeah.
safer attack.
No summon safer attack.
Worst case, right?
Yeah.
Some people say, let me see. I feel like it's tough to get a discard. I barely feel it because usually you don't even need to negate that many. It's like you always have something dead. Like rockets, all the rockets just be discarded, and instead of something from the hand, you something from the graveyard by boot. And going second, you usually have some dead cards. Like if you open two of them, you just use the first one, pitch the second one. There's like still enough just because quick launch is such a buster card. I've done my opponent. I think I played against like a bird up where he has the like no, it was not bird up. It was what was it? It was something else where he has like a couple different monsters that I need to negate. My opening hand, I look at it, was like, huh, this hand's pretty busted. After the Chaos Blaze cost, he go negate. I go chilling 2. No, it will be chilling 3 quick launch, chilling 4 quick launch, chilling 5 dropless, and quick launch, Chaos Blaze, and a monster in my hand. Negate everything. And Chaos Blaze resolve, double quick launch resolve, that's game.
Please.
Yeah, just because there's quick launch and also the other personal preference I play Cosmic. And Cosmic's usually you have a target to hit, that's good. So yeah, just I barely feel I need a lot of discard. Like I will be short in hand for droplets. That must
I
have been.
think I think I think Cosmic's a really good card right now.
Yeah, it is. I really like it. It pretty much solved the window problem. Majority of the time, it can if your opponent don't have vision, which vision now is a one off. You can pretty much remove the tiding. Uh, for that was those who are going second. Even against Dino, it removed the size problem. Then going first, pretty much every deck play field spell, and those are also pretty essential field spell. Like against Dragon, even Cosmic your boost sector can be hurting a lot. Against Shadow Invoke, you stop the meltdown, so their Shadow fusion can actually be negated by the things that negate activation. Against Dino has Lost World, Prankids has your the field spell that will try to chain block any possible way they want to. So yeah, it's overall. Also, there's obviously the pretty annoying backrow decks like Golden Lords, just kill the Conquistador. Never a bad thing.
Oh yeah,
Mm,
that makes them sad.
yeah. Well, that's pretty much like those are honestly my personal preferences. For the current format, I think the non-engine I usually choose, as you will see in the current like PK list, it will be Ash, Droplet, and the Cosmic. Those are probably the non-engine I would choose. Maybe a Phantasm, but just I just toss it here because recently I have issues, not issues. Recently I have situations where I wanna bro tour search a hand trap, so I was like, I'll toss a Phantasmic here, just one copy will be fine. Like I'm not even using this as a hand trap, but using this as a additional interruption that can come off sphere. So the real non-engine cards I choose is Ash Cosmic Droplet. And those three like cover so differently. Overall, it actually covers like the whole format together. And there's nothing that's like that strong. You need like so many things covered at one point. So yeah, that's pretty much my like the non-engine idea of the format. And in the side, there's like Joe Gamma for backup for as hand traps, Pank Storm Duster reboot as back removal. And if I play like DB tournaments, I don't need a Scarlight. This would just be the third Lightning Storm. And going first, there's like Call by Order and Gammas for Joe Ash Lancia. So this is like how I build my deck.
Hmm. I actually picked up 2 Fogblade just to try this build out too.
Good,
Yeah, I just like
good.
trying new things. It looks fun.
Yeah, it's never a bad thing to try different new things. Also, like remote duel locals are relatively accessible. There's like I think throughout the whole country, there's at least one competitive or relatively more competitive remote duel local every single day of the week through Monday to
Hmm.
Sunday, if I remember correct. So, so to be honest, if you really want to, first of all, if you really want to, you can play competitive remote duel locals every single day of the week, and that's a crazy amount of practice. That's arguably better than you just grinding DB hours every day.
Just actually play in
Yeah,
tournaments, huh?
yeah. Because DB, it's sometimes it's kind of annoying. It's like, oh, we have another idiots made another calling you saying you made an illegal play where it's absolutely the right play, and you're sitting there for 20 minutes waiting for the
Waiting for
judge
the
call.
mod.
It happens so often, especially when you are low ranking, and it still happens even you are relatively high ranking.
Well, man, I think you honestly covered almost everything that I came here for today. I really do appreciate it.
Nice. I mean, we have.
Like,
I think we have another session coming. Well, probably sometime
oh
next
yes,
week, I guess.
yeah, probably sometime next week.
Uh,
I gotta grind every day.
yeah, you can probably just be like play a couple like locals, maybe get like some well you play remote duel so you can't really record it. But you can try to just maybe like after the match write down the details, your openings, things like that. And we can maybe go over some like replays kind of thing. And maybe
Yeah,
your tournament report, maybe things like that, whatever.
yeah, I'll probably try to compete in one on Saturday, and then I'll just write down every matchup that I had and where I think I messed up, and then I'll just report back to you about it.
Hmm. Sounds good. And yeah, as I said at the very beginning before we even start the stream, I think the VOD will be upload the whole thing probably like tomorrow because today is relatively late. Probably upload it
Hmm.
like middle or tomorrow afternoon. It will be on the YouTube. Worst case, the latest.
Perfect.
Yeah. So if you need to watch it again, just hop on YouTube. like tomorrow, and it should be there.
Absolutely, I will. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you again.
Mm-hmm. No problem. Glad you learned a lot of things.
Shout out Senpai Shoes, YGO Lab.
Thanks for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I guess that's pretty much it for tonight's session. Um, thanks, Well, for coming here.
Thank you for teaching me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me see. I think you can record locals. Well, Pack is streaming it, so um, I guess you can maybe record it, but you at least have to make sure the TO and your opponent are both fine with it.
Okay with it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like a thing. Okay, seems like I also have something coming up. So I guess this will be the end of the stream, and I will probably have a couple more coaching session coming in the following week. So stay within the channel, and if you like to have a session like this for yourself, just message me on both or either Facebook or Discord. Once I see it, I'll respond to you. We can talk about the details, schedule time, and stream it. And well, even if you don't want to stream it, we can do it privately. It's fine. It's fine for me. So yeah, that's about it for tonight. And glad everyone's here. And I'll see everyone in the lab in the future. See ya.